as we go through the draft process, I think a lot of times, fans say like this player's a bust, that player's a bust, or this player didn't work hard enough to be successful in the league. And we got to realize there's a lot of politics that go into the NFL, like a lot of politics that go into work. Like every day at work, we might know that the guy that we work next to deserves a promotion, but for some reason he's been working there for 3 years and never got it. Mm-hmm. There's politics in every job we go through. There's politics in the NFL. But these politics ruin a lot of people's potential. Mm-hmm. So that guy next to you, he could have been a great manager. Never got the call, never got the promotion. He never reached his potential. So now there's 3 players that are still available, under 30, still can have good NFL careers that the NFL has already ruined their careers. I'm going to start off with number 3. Us in New York are very familiar with this particular guy because he's played with both of the New York teams already. This guy...
Wait, did he get picked up, though?
He got picked up, and that's why it makes this a little bit odd to bring him into this.
So you might as well say it, too.
But I will say, he's still ruined in the fact that we've now seen him over the course of 3 to 4 seasons not even get a fair shot at actually being a starting quarterback in this league.
And he's still only on a 1-year deal. Anyway.
Correct. Where we've seen players like Blake Bortles get numerous opportunities to make it happen. Or Sam Bradford drag a lot of organizations along as he's trying to figure, let's even throw out Carson Palmer that just, had people along. Let's even go with Andy. Okay, look, you see where I'm going with this. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have been given multiple opportunities and others haven't. I do have honorable mentions like Mark Sanchez, E.J. Manuel, that weren't quite given the opportunity.
E.J. Manuel lost his job with the Buffalo.
Yes.
Never got a shot again.
Never did.
Actually played kind of decent for Carr.
Never got
that was it.
So let's get right into number 3, Geno Smith. His college numbers, 4 seasons, 44 games, 67.4 completion percentage, over 11,000 yards passing, 98 touchdowns to 21 interceptions. 100.3.5 QB rating. Led the NCAA in touchdowns in 2012. NFL career. 5 seasons. Has only started 31 games. So you mean in 4 years in college, he started more games than he started in 5 years. 5 years in the NFL. In those 31, in college he was 29-15, if people want to know the record. Mm-hmm. In the NFL, 31 games started. He's 12-19. 57.9 completion percentage, 29 touchdowns to 36 interceptions, 6,100 yards. Geno Smith has been completely ruined by the NFL. Maybe not completely. Maybe him and Phillip Rivers. Phillip gives him the right instructions. Phillip gets injured. Geno steps in and he finds himself in a Drew Brees kind of career where he finally get an opportunity and shows like I'm good. So last year we had McAdoo come out and said, from week 3, he felt like Geno was outperforming Eli Manning in practice. He wanted to go with Geno Smith. We've had Rex Ryan mention that Geno Smith was the best throwing quarterback that he had in his time with the Jets. We've had even Bowles say that, not even Bowles, I'll even go a step further in that Jets time. We've had Brandon Marshall say he thinks that Geno Smith has as much talent as any quarterback in the league that he's had to catch. He's had Jay Cutler throw the ball to him. And if he said that about Geno Smith, the talent is there. What I want to say is Geno Smith in his last 2 years of college was the best throwing quarterback in the entire college. This is why the same 2012 we're talking about, Johnny Manziel won the Heisman that year. Just to give you a perspective of how good Geno was doing. He led the Big East in passing touchdowns for 3 straight years. The Big East is not no joke. They're known for defense. So, with that being said, Geno Smith has been ruined. He never was given a chance with the Jets. With the Giants never gave him a chance. Now he's moving on to another team in which he's another 1-year backup. This is politics ruining a young quarterback that had potential to be great. Let's move into number 2. The aforementioned Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel, 2 years in college. Only 2 years, freshman and sophomore. First year as a freshman won a Heisman. Sophomore came in 5th in the Heisman voting. Show you how dominant Johnny was. In those 26 games, he threw for an astonishing 68.9% complete percentage, 7,800 yards. This is 2 seasons, by the way. 63 touchdowns to 22 interceptions. 164.1 QB rating, and again the Heisman Trophy in 2012.
And beat Alabama.
Correct. One of the few that was able to beat Nick Saban. Directly, Nick Saban. Not just the Alabama dynasty, Nick Saban.
Between only 2 people that did that is him and Watson.
Correct. And Watson, we've seen how he dominated the league once he was given a chance. Now, Johnny was drafted by the most dysfunctional team we've seen since they came back in '98.
Sorry to cut you off on that point. It's the fact that you say that.
Yes.
Johnny Manziel actually had made a quote saying that he blames Cleveland Browns for his failure. They didn't do enough research on him, not knowing that he wasn't a film room guy. They didn't know the X's and O's like that.
Correct.
So
when Johnny Manziel was coming into the draft, now a lot of pundits had their own reason for saying, "Oh, he's not a first-round pick. He's too small. His hands are too small." I said that Johnny Manziel is nothing more than a 2 inches shorter version of Tony Romo. He's phenomenal at keeping the pocket alive and catching receivers on the run. He even does it better than Aaron Rodgers. Now, if you're looking for the 2 years what Johnny Manziel did in college, that is Aaron Rodgers at his best.
I think he did this his whole cup. This like the first game he played, he was.
Now, has the people that said he was a bust in the NFL? He only played in 8 games. He started in the NFL. 2-6, 57% completion, 1,600 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. In every game that Johnny played in, he gave his team a chance to play in those 8 games. Well, he had 2 years in college, dominated. 2 years in the NFL and was only given 8 games to start. But by a Browns team that didn't win no more than 2 games, those 2 years that they wouldn't give him the opportunity to start. Maybe those same 2 wins that Johnny got you. So if that's not the politics of the NFL ruining a player that showed, because a lot of people say that the NCAA and the NFL are not that far different. The difference is not that great. It's not like the G League and the NBA. It's not the minor leagues and the major leagues. The gap is not that different. Like, Nick Saban's Alabama could probably compete for a playoff spot next season. That's how, because again, it's physicality. It's not skill. So in baseball, somebody that's in a minor league does not have the same level of skill as, say, Barry Bonds. That's a major league skill. That is a complete separation. A G leaguer that's scoring 30 a night is not James Harden scoring 30 a night. The gap is huge. But Saquon Barkley, right now, if he goes in the NFL, will probably get you 1,200 yards. And he did that last year in college. Because it's not that big a difference. It's physicality. If you have it, you have it. If you're ready, you're ready.
Majority of the players playing with just in college.
So the idea that somehow Johnny Manziel couldn't do what he did in college in the NFL, that's absolutely false. You're just saying that shit because you don't want to risk losing your job saying that you're going to play Johnny Manziel. None of these players, again, Cleveland Browns, have done nothing but lose. Nobody wanted to put their name behind Johnny and put the risk of us not only losing with the Browns, which was probably going to happen. I'm going to lose and have Johnny be the reason that we lose and take the criticism of being the guy that wanted to play Johnny Manziel.
I didn't like that coach, too.
Let's move on. So Johnny got ruined. But I hope Johnny gets another chance. Because I think Johnny's is better than Blaine Bortles. I think he's better than actually the Dallas quarterback right now.
He had a pro day.
Yeah, I saw that. And he looked good. He looked like he still throw the ball sharp. He's still in good shape. I think he's better than Dak Prescott.
Don't sound like one of those people.
What?
He did good. Just say what you know. What you supposed to say? He looked like Johnny Manziel.
Very much so. And to that bullshit.
I make it seem like he looks better than he was before. The same person.
I'm gonna start throwing some names out. Johnny Manziel right now is better than Tannehill with the Dolphins. He's better than Andy Dalton with the Bengals. And this is just if they allow him a full season to actually ingrain himself to an offense. Right. A lot of people like to watch him play for 4 games and say, you see, he's not good. Look at his numbers after 4 games.
You know, I'll give you a good example of that?
Yeah.
It's 2 years ago. The Eagles drafted Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Rams drafted Jared Goff.
Correct.
After the first season, Jared Goff was considered a bust.
That's right.
After this season,
he was clipboard hanging.
Yeah. After this season,
my man Fisher.
Yeah. Whew. But then when he does play the last 8 games of the season, they're like, he doesn't look that good to me.
Yeah.
Now after this season, he's probably one of the top quarterbacks out there. Crazy.
Like, and I mean,
crazy.
Well, I can understand that in New York. Like, they've been doing this for 50 years. Like, this is how New York gets down. We give you about 2 minutes to prove that you're good enough to get 5 minutes. Which is that's the state that we are in. But now, these other states, y'all got no reason to be acting like this, especially Cleveland. If y'all don't, y'all had Josh Gordon and Johnny Manziel and could have easily had the most exciting team for 3 years with just those 2 players there. Johnny Manziel, Gordon, and the running back they also had there at the time. Or they might have just cut him. I think his name was Duke something. Or Isaiah Cromwell, I might be mistaken.
No, you mean Isaiah Crowell?
Zach Crowell.
Because I think Crowell can't. Because this is what 30. So he came at the same time.
Yeah, around the same time.
And look how good he's been progressing.
Correct. I'm just saying those 3 plays. You could have had at least almost
and
like.
Don't even mention he had also still had. I think they still had Alex Mack at the same time he was drafted.
Oh yeah.
And they had Joe Thomas.
Yeah, all that. You had all this in place. Now I go a few years before that, where the Browns messed up before that. You had Braylon Edwards had one of the best receiving years that y'all ever seen in Cleveland, and y'all had Derek Anderson put up those numbers with him, and you let Braylon Edwards go, who was the favorite target of the quarterback, Derek Anderson. And then Derek Anderson took a step back because he didn't no longer have a receiving weapon, and then you say that he's having a regression, and you cut him the very next season.
And you paid Peyton Hills all that money because he had a great season.
Madden cover curse. But let's get into number 1 and you'll move this along. Number 1 of quarterbacks ruined by the NFL politics that still can play. I could say Colin Kaepernick right now. Or could it not? We would all be like, yeah, Colin Kaepernick's the guy. Politics has really ruined his career.
That's a fact. That's
a superstar player that got himself to the Super Bowl, and then politics has him not in the league.
That's ultimate politics.
That's the ultimate guy. But for this list, we're going to go with Jamarcus Russell.
Big man on campus.
Now, Jamarcus Russell was considered 2.0 of Dante Culpepper, a more athletic, better throwing version of Dante Culpepper. Dante Culpepper had some big years in Minnesota.
That man had a kid.
All right? So now, let me give you Jamarcus Russell's numbers also at LSU. Another place for some reason where it doesn't seem to work out for LSU guys. You know what I mean? Like, Jarvis Landry, his career has been muddled where the Dolphins didn't want to trade him, then they traded him. You got Odell Beckham has put up the biggest numbers we've really seen as a wide receiver, and yet the Giants are contemplating trading him. And then you have Arden Key, who was once a top 10 pick. Now all of a sudden he might be in the 3rd round. And now we have Jamarcus Russell, one of the best quarterbacks that came through LSU. His 3 years there, 36 games, 61.9 completion percentage, 68% his last year, 6,600 yards, 52 touchdowns with 21 interceptions, 147.9 QB rating. He was top in the SEC in completion percentage, QB rating, passing touchdowns for his last 2 seasons. Now, NFL played 3 seasons, started in 25 games, went 7-18, 4,000 passing yards, 18 touchdowns to 22 interceptions.
3 seasons, so started 2 years. Almost.
Some people say that he was a
2.5.
Yeah, basically, first year didn't really get off. Next 2 years he started, I think, 15 the second year. Last year about 13 games, something like that.
I know he came into camp overweight, and that set the whole downward spiral for him.
Here's what I have. My thing is with the politics.
That was the whole thing.
My thing is the politics of the NFL. So they said that the kid struggled to grasp the offensive system. Meanwhile, if I'm not mistaken, he had a different offensive coordinator each of his 3 years there. So it usually takes, they say, a professional player half a season to a full season to fully grasp an offensive system. Or even a discipline system, a system of play. It takes a player almost from the first quarter of the year in training camp to finally kind of understand what they got to do, half of the year to get comfortable, the full year to fully say that they don't have to think no more, they can just play the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you have a kid in their first couple years trying to learn, and then you change the system every year. When would they ever get the chance? So I hate when they compare him to other players like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was only in one system his entire career. So the idea to compare him is even say Mark Sanchez.
He sat to learn the playbook for 5 years.
You know what I mean? Like, or even to say Tom Brady. Even at the low end, Tom Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe for 1.5 years. His first year, he never played. His second year, that's when Bledsoe got hurt. That's when he came. He was already in his second year sitting on the bench. So, and he was in the same system. It wasn't like a new coordinator, a new system, a new coach, or none of that.
But then you can also compare him to certain players that came in first round draft picks like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
2 systems.
Yeah.
Well, first he went from Jim Moore, what 2 years, and then Tony Dungy for majority of his whole season until he went to Cardwell, and by that time
he's already established.
Like, I don't care what I'm going to.
I got my confidence now.
But I see what the narrative you're speaking is. Like, if you're in a super quarterback, the ones who have a longevity with one system tend to last longer.
Like Drew Brees has been with Sean Payne for his success. The years that before Sean Payne, he was mediocre, truly. But under Sean Payne, he's been dominant. Same with Tom Brady. Have we seen him without Belichick? We have not. We saw Matt Castle without Belichick. That was different.
Mm-mm.
That was significantly different.
Actually, we've seen a lot of players.
You leave
Honestly, the only couple players that left the Patriots that actually had decent season has been Brissett and Jimmy G.
Yeah, and
it's still half a season.
Yeah,
we still can't really say it yet.
We went to playoffs his first year with KC, so it looked like he was good money. Then the next year, it never got better than that. To me, I had a lot of people saying like it's part of the player. When the person is that young, it's on the organization to put the player in the right position. It's almost like with a kid. If you send a kid to a high school to become a star player, would you really say the kid is the reason that he failed to become a star high school player? You would never say that. He's 15 years old. He's 13 when he goes to the high school. Would you say he's the reason that they failed? You would say that it's the parents, the coaches, the school, the organization that didn't fulfill his talent because he doesn't know what success is. They've seen it before. Like, so you say the Jets have been in operations for 50 years. You had Joe Namath. As an organization, you've already had successful players. You should know what it takes to put the player in the right position. So, yeah, you failed Mark Sanchez. Then because Mark Sanchez had a successful tenure. He had 4 years. He went to a conference championship twice. He went to the playoffs 3 out of those 4 years. That's a successful tenure. Most people don't make it to 3 years in the NFL.
I think I don't really feel bad for Sanchez. I think they just move forward. Yeah, they just figured, you know what? You brought us to the same championship game twice the next year. We're trying to go better.
I mean,
I have no problem.
We never thought he would be the same again once he separated his shoulder. Nobody thought he'd be the same again. And then,
no one thought he would be Geno
Smith. They ruined his career. Like, the Jets didn't do a good job. And then even Christian Hagenberg, which I hear all these pundits like calling like Odell a distraction or this player is not doing what he's supposed to. How about Christian Hagenberg's career got ruined by an organization? Why are you not calling the Jets out on the carpet for that?
Yeah, you keep them in this. Like I've been saying, cut them, let them go. Go and find another team. If you're gonna keep them under contract, you just let them waste away in your backfield. You know, the teams look at us like, ain't nobody want this guy. Now he's old news. He's 25 years old and doesn't really play. Do I really want to put him in my field?
Here's the thing, like Christian Hagenberg is competing right now against Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen. That's who he's competing against. That even a free agent is like, do we really want to put time and money into you to develop you?
You've been a free agent the whole time and no one picked you up?
You know what I mean? Like, and the Jets had you. They never played you. You never beat Bryce Petty in practice. Now, we might go and get Luke Falk and see what we can do with him for the next 2 years.
But, yeah, that's unfortunate players.
But the Jamarcus Russell, I feel like right now, like, if I'm a team that is struggling, what sense does it make not to take a flyer on a Jamarcus Russell and bring him in? Like, if I'm the Redskins, I'm bringing in Jamarcus Russell to back up Alex Smith. So if Alex gets hurt, at least I got, like, something that fans can get excited about. And I got a player that could potentially be, like, a nugget on the low. Like a nugget on the low, like on some, like, Nick Foles. Like, they had a starter behind waiting. And they win a Super Bowl for it. That's having a deep team.
That's what makes sense. I don't understand why would you not. Like, when the Colts looked good when Andrew Luck went out, they had Matt Hasselbeck actually holding it down. A person that started before as a backup.
Starting quality player.
But let's get around to the 3 players that needed to be addressed on how they got screwed on.
You know what I mean? NFL politics. You know what I mean? I hope the best for Geno in L.A. I hope that Johnny gets a shot. And I hope that Jamarcus gets a shot. I heard that he wrote a letter to all NFL teams last year to giving him a shot at training camp.
Wait, I remember last one I heard of him, he said he's applying for 31 teams.
Yeah, I heard he wrote a letter to all 30 teams.
Because I know he's not touching. He says he would not go back to that.
I don't think he's going back, though.
He would not touch Oakland.
I don't think John Gruden would even bring him in, given John Gruden's taste of talent. It looks.
Well, I don't know. He liked them. He said he liked them.
He liked them during the TV show.
So maybe, I don't know.
I'm saying, I would like to see how John Gruden does.
I'm really